If Jon really thinks he's going to fight Alex Pereira, he's getting ready.
Yeah.
He's at least getting ready in his mind. If Jon really thinks that he's fighting in June, he's already in camp. Big money fight is Alex and Jon Jones at the White House.
This is a super fight of epic proportions. There's absolutely no better card or more fitting card than to put Alex Pereira versus Jon Jones on at the White House.
I like to fight Alex Pereira at the White House. Yeah, I feel like he's incredibly respectful. I feel like he's a household name in America and MMA. Everybody knows who he is. He's a champion. He's in the conversation of being one of the greatest fighters of all time.
Jon Jones remains one of the most compelling figures in MMA history, not just for what he has done, but for what could still happen. The MMA world has been obsessing over one fantasy matchup above all others: Jon Jones versus Alex Pereira. Fans, commentators, and pundits alike have called it one of the most tantalizing fights the sport could ever produce.
Jon Jones versus Alex Pereira for the BMF at heavyweight. Yes, I said it. It makes sense. It makes perfect sense. You want to have an American headline in White House. You want to do it with the greatest of all time. Jon's not going to fight Tom Aspinall. That's fine. Alex Pereira's been calling this fight. He's a bigger name than Tom Aspinall.
A clash between arguably the greatest mixed martial artist of all time and one of the most destructive strikers ever seen in combat sports. In late 2025 and into 2026, that fight became tied to plans for a historic UFC event scheduled for June 14th, a White House fight card that could become the biggest spectacle MMA has ever known. Early on, Jones openly expressed his desire to headline that card, to represent his country, and make this super fight a centerpiece moment of the sport's evolution. He publicly called out Alex Pereira, and Pereira responded with interest, indicating he would welcome the showdown that fans have dreamed about. Yet as early as late 2024, UFC President Dana White made it clear that just because a fight is exciting doesn't mean he plans to make it. After UFC 309, where Jones delivered a dominant performance against Stipe Miocic, White dismissed the idea of booking the Pereira fight, saying there's no f***ing way it would happen next, and questioning whether it even made sense given Jones's size and wrestling dominance compared to Pereira's striking. White explained he respected Pereira but was reluctant to put Jones in that matchup under the UFC's usual structure.
You know what tonight told me? There's no f***ing make the Pereira fight.
Okay.
Jon's too big. Great wrestler. See how he took Stipe down in that first round?
Yeah.
I like Alex Pereira. I like him personally.
But he's just the greatest of all time, right?
It just doesn't make sense to make that fight. If they both want it bad enough and they're both fucking hounding me or something, maybe I would do it. It's just Alex Pereira is killing it. Look at his age and what he's doing right now. What's the reason to go up and fight a guy that's so much bigger than you and such a good wrestler?
In 2026, the situation hasn't gotten much clearer. Jones has recently given blunt and emotional updates on his potential fight with Pereira and his MMA future in general. In interviews during media appearances, Jones has emphasized he doesn't actually know if the fight will happen. He says he's still training, still in excellent shape, maintaining discipline, and living the lifestyle that made him a champion, but he admits the fight's fate is largely out of his control. He reiterated that he takes things one day at a time, feels blessed with his life and career, and is grateful whether he steps back into the octagon or not. Despite all the anticipation, the fight between Jon Jones and Alex Pereira remains elusive. Jones has made it clear that he's physically and mentally ready, staying disciplined in training and maintaining peak condition, but the path forward depends on more than just him. Dana White's hesitations continue to loom large. While the UFC president acknowledges the excitement and historic potential of the matchup, he remains cautious, citing logistical concerns, timing, and the high stakes involved in putting two elite fighters together. White's past experiences with Jones's unpredictability only add to the complexity, leaving fans wondering if this super fight will ever truly materialize. Joe Rogan has been one of the most vocal advocates for making the fight happen. On his podcast, Rogan described the matchup as a generational spectacle, comparing it to a collision of two different MMA worlds. He has suggested creative solutions like a special BMF-style title or catchweight bout to make the fight both safe and marketable.
If Jon really thinks he's going to fight Alex Pereira, he's getting ready.
Yeah.
He's at least getting ready in his mind. If Jon really thinks that he's fighting in June, he's already in camp. Big money fight is Alex and Jon Jones at the White House.
Insisting that fans deserve to see two of the sport's best face off. Rogan's enthusiasm highlights the gap between what the audience wants and what the UFC is currently willing to commit to. A tension that has only fueled speculation and debate online.
Will we ever see Jon Jones versus Alex? Yeah.
Possibility. I mean, Rogan is pushing me right now to try to make that fight. It's just, guys, Jon Jones is a whole nother. I consider Jon Jones the greatest combat fighter of all time. Jon Jones is the nastiest dude ever in the history, and Jon's got a dark side to him.
Meanwhile, Jones's recent interviews reflect a striking shift in his approach. Unlike earlier in his career, he isn't aggressively chasing headlines or pressuring the promotion. Instead, he speaks with reflection and perspective, emphasizing gratitude, readiness, and acceptance of whatever the future brings. He openly admits that some things are beyond his control, showing a calmer, more mature side of the fighter that many analysts believe could make him even more dangerous inside the octagon. This mindset makes the potential matchup with Pereira feel even more unpredictable. Because the fighter is no longer chasing the narrative, he's waiting for the moment to come to him. For Alex Pereira, the fight remains a tantalizing prospect as well. Known for his precision striking and knockout power, Pereira would present a very different challenge for Jones than previous opponents. Analysts and fans debate endlessly about styles and advantages, but the consensus is clear. If this fight happens, it's not just another title bout, it's a defining moment for both fighters' legacies. Until Dana White greenlights the matchup, Jon Jones versus Alex Pereira remains the ultimate what if in modern MMA. This honesty from Jones revealed a shift in tone. The fighter, once aggressively chasing big matchups, always ready in press cycles and social media, now speaks with a reflective acceptance. It's not gloom, it's perspective. He's ready if the fight happens, yet unshaken if it doesn't. Many fans see this as maturity. Others see it as uncertainty creeping into what once felt inevitable. Meanwhile, the calls for this fight haven't disappeared. They've evolved. One of the loudest voices pushing for it has been UFC commentator Joe Rogan. On his podcast, Rogan insisted that Jones versus Pereira, especially at the White House event, would be the biggest fight in human history. He proposed interesting ideas like a catchweight bout or even a symbolic baddest motherfucker as BMF title to give the fight special significance. Rogan argued that combining Jones's all-around excellence with Pereira's devastating striking would create an event unmatched in MMA, but Dana White's reservations have continued to overshadow those calls. In more recent statements, White explained that while a matchup of this caliber is talking point, he's hesitant to commit to it because of questions around Jones's reliability in big moment situations. White's skepticism stems from repeated past instances where Jones was scheduled for major title fights and then withdrew or retired unexpectedly, forcing the UFC to change plans. That history has made White cautious about placing Jones in such a high-profile position again. As a result, it appears that even if both fighters want it, Dana White might not allow it, or might delay it until other business is handled first. Jones himself recently said he doesn't think White will allow the fight to happen, underscoring his diminishing confidence that this super fight will ever be officially booked, let alone headline a historic card. Across the MMA world, opinions vary wildly. Some analysts believe that Jones's size, wrestling ability, and fight IQ would neutralize Pereira's striking in a real fight scenario, making Jones the overwhelming favorite. Others think Pereira's precision and knockout power could pose unique problems for Jones in a stand-up fight. But beyond the tactical debate lies a deeper story. MMA fans almost as passionately want this fight because it feels monumental, a generational clash between different kinds of greatness. Today, as we stand in early 2026, the Jones versus Pereira matchup remains a tantalizing, unresolved narrative, one that could define the careers, legacies, and even the promotional direction of the UFC moving forward. For fans of combat sports, this isn't just another fight possibility. It's a story of ambition, legacy, timing, and influence. It's about how careers are shaped not only by what fighters do in the ring or cage, but by what they believe they can achieve, and whether the powers that control matchmaking will allow them to chase those dreams. Until the UFC makes an official announcement, Jon Jones versus Alex Pereira will stay in the realm of what might have been a legendary clash still waiting on the horizon.